It's the super-centex podcast with Chad and Michael and Bryce. Gentlemen, it's Turkey Week.
Yeah, it's in that holiday spirit, you know. I hadn't put up my Christmas tree yet, but that's kind of on the to-do list for this week.
Yeah.
Do y'all wait until at least after Thanksgiving to do that?
We do at our house. If it were up to my daughter, we'd have done it in October. She's a big Christmas freak. But we do. We wait till after Thanksgiving, but usually right after Thanksgiving.
Right. No, I think any time after Thanksgiving is fair.
Yeah.
I think that Saturday. Okay, Saturday is like Groundhog Day for me, right? If the Red Raiders win, I'll be very much in a holiday spirit, and I'm sure I'll put the tree up that night, right? And if they lose, it might be 6 weeks before the tree goes up.
If they lose, Tiny Tim is not getting his money. All right. Well, let's keep on the holiday theme. So we've got 11 area teams playing in 10 games this week. We've got Bremond and Mart playing each other, of course. Who should be most thankful that they are still playing? Or to phrase that another way, who's our biggest surprise that we got here in the third round?
Okay, now I wish I'd read these questions ahead of time.
Michael, start us off.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy because of the tradition of this program, but I think it's Mart, man.
I agree. I think that's the answer.
I mean, and look, and I mean, because I think we all picked against Mart last week, but I mean, I don't
2
think
weeks
the
in a
three
row,
of
I
us,
think.
and I don't think the three of us are necessarily surprised to see Mart playing well at this time of the year and winning playoff games. I mean, we're used to that, but just given the kind of up and down season it's been for them, and in integrating a first year coach and trying different kids at quarterback and trying to figure out, hey, how can we consistently win football games, especially at this time of the year when it matters most. But as we talked about all freaking year long, District 10 2A Division 2 is far and away, the best Class 2A Division 2 district in the state, with Chilton and Bremond and Goldthwaite, who all won their first playoff game. That district went 4-0 in that first week of playoffs. So that just in itself tells you how good it is, and still have Mart and Bremond still in it. I think that's going to be a heck of a game. But in terms of being most thankful and grateful to be at this time of the year, I mean, heck, I think a 4 seed still being alive in Mart under first year coach. I think that's the answer.
Yeah, I'll put it this way, not to interrupt you, Cheb, before you start talking, but we've got most of our teams left have double-digit wins. Mart, meanwhile, is 7-5. As you said, Michael, it's been a little bit of an up and down year, but talk about a good time to be playing your best ball. Chad, what were you going to say?
Yeah, I agree. I think these are some of the stories that we don't necessarily get in real time. Years later, a coach will tell you how something progressed and developed within the walls of their program. But I mean, Mart was pretty much dead in the water on November 7th when they lost 40-14 against Goldthwaite, right? I mean, you're like, okay, get out the basketballs and just get everybody to the next week of school, and then they'll do Thanksgiving at home for once, And then they beat Cumbie in by district 40-6, pick up some momentum apparently, because then they beat Lovelady 45-32 last week.
That's a good Lovelady team too.
Right. And you go, okay, were they sandbagging against Goldthwaite? or did something click? In that by-district week, or did they say, well, we got nothing left to lose now, or whatever? And it's like I said, years from now, we might get Lancaster to start telling us, the nitty-gritty of how this happened to go from 4th place to playing on Thanksgiving week. And you know what? They gave Bremond all they wanted for a really good long time.
You were there.
District
You were there and
game.
saw it. Yeah.
Yeah, and Bremen has got to be a little bit nervous this week going into that game
No
because
doubt. No doubt. And so I am going to get a chance to talk to Coach Lancaster today. And maybe that's a question I'll ask. How has this happened?
Well, okay,
But
I can say this real quick because I've kept up with their stats at least. I mean, I hate to box score watch, but if there's one thing that Mart is doing maybe better in the last 2 weeks than they have
run
all
the
year
ball.
is running the ball. I mean,
Mhm.
holy smokes. They've had Quinn Preston. It's been
mhm.
a combination of Quinn Preston, Ahmad Scott, and Carmelo Medlock all go for big rushing games in the last 2 weeks. And particularly last week, Quinn Preston, a sophomore running back, and Ahmad Scott, they both combined for over 400 yards rushing, just the two of
Yeah, and
them.
in one of
So,
those games, maybe I don't remember if it was the Cumbie or the Lovelady game, but
mhm.
Quinn Preston broke one that was like 90 something yards. And
Yeah.
I mean, he went from one side of the field to the other. I saw the clip of that one.
Okay.
So,
And it could be something as simple as they had some linemen out against Goldthwait and they got healthy and ready to go, that
Possible.
first week of the playoffs. And I'll say this just to add on to the point is we all have sports teams that we care about and probably care about too much, and you lose the game by 26 points and you end up in fourth place in district and everybody's kind of probably a little bit sour on things. And then all of a sudden it turns around, and you're living on the high, right? And it's crazy how sports does this to us. And this is why I often say sports is the worst drug ever invented.
it can be the best on certain days.
Well, and the reason why I say the sports is the worst drug ever invented is because the high is so good,
The
you
high
know.
is so good, but the low really, really sucks. And I mean, I'll never forget. Not to bring up bad memories to Midway folks, but just that Midway softball game. I remember
Mhm.
walking off and just seeing several Midway administrators there and just going, "Sports, man, sports." And
That and that's what the day I came up with that little saying, and I think that I'll go ahead and have them put that on my gravestone when I die.
that's pretty good. So not surprisingly, in addition to Bremont Mart, we've got some excellent matchups awaiting us here in round three. Personally, I found the Whitney Pottsboro game to be the toughest to pick. How do you guys see that one?
Well, as I told you guys yesterday, I haven't done completely done the research, but I think Whitney might be the first team to be going for a Borough three-peat.
Not Hillsboro. They did they
Whitesboro, then Winsboro, now Pottsboro.
did they
That's
play
right.
Hillsboro in regular season?
I don't think so, but I
Okay,
can look. I can check real
that's
quick.
yeah. Look that up because obviously they're not separated by very many
They
miles.
did week 3. They beat them 70 to
Mhm.
44. They played
That's a lot
Hillsboro,
of
so
boroughs,
Says it'd be Borough number 4.
right?
that what yes. And the
Basically,
third
Whitney would be the New
yeah.
York City state champion, king of all boroughs.
Uh-huh.
Well, what do
Not
you
to
think? Whitney versus Pottsboro.
Well, I've liked Whitney all year long. I covered him in the season opener. I like how much Haynes likes this team.
Yeah,
Mhm.
It's
yeah,
a lot of his kids, buddies, and I think he loves coaching them. I think
Yeah.
they've got a lot of athletes and a lot of versatility, and there's a lot to like about them. The thing that you might not like so much about them is their tendency to hemorrhage points. You know,
Hmm.
right.
uh, so that's not a whole lot of X's and O analysis of this game, but that's just the overview of Whitney to me.
Well, and I mean, when you look at this Pottsboro team, I think they finished the year state ranked. I think they were number 9
9,
or
yeah.
something like that.
I'm working
Yeah.
on that cap this
Um,
morning, yeah.
Good, good. Well, and as you look further into the nitty gritty of it, Chad, you're going to find out they've got a pretty big time playmaker in Caden Humphrey, um, senior quarterback who's thrown for almost 3,000 yards so far, and also rushed for over 1,300 yards. So he's a legit dual threat guy, but you know. Coach Haynes, his son Kobe Haynes, he's a pretty darn good dual threat guy too. I mean, that might be underselling him in terms of what he can do on a football field. I mean, we've talked about his numbers all year. He's a crazy good player, and I mean, as much as Whitney's defense might be leaky at times and maybe have reverted back to that in the last couple of weeks, they should feel confident being able to outscore anyone with Jonte Johnson in that backfield and Kobe Haynes running that show.
Well, to that point, I mean, sometimes I think we buy into the cliches too much. Like, obviously, defense is important, and we know the
Mhm.
old cliche with defense. But here's the thing: if you can put up points and outscore your opponent, I mean, Whitney is built for shootouts,
Yes.
and I think they're like, yeah, okay, go ahead, score a touchdown. We're gonna answer. And
Mhm.
I just looked it up while y'all were talking, but do you know what their low score of the year is? Just take a guess.
Is it under 40? I mean, I don't.
It's 30. 30
30.
They
is
got
their
beat 49-30 by
30 is their
Academy.
baseline. They have scored 30 or more in every game this year, including their
Wow.
losses. So they want to put you in a shootout, um, and they've won the last couple by just a touchdown. 61-55 over Whitesboro, 45-38 over Winsboro. So they're comfortable in a close game as well. Um, I got to see him against West, and um, yeah, was thoroughly impressed. And I think Chad makes a good point on David Jr. really liking this team and the roles that guys have taken on this team. I think he gets a little like not put out, but just like obviously everybody talks about Kobe and everybody talks
Sure.
about Jonte, but he knows that he's got some guys making plays in other
Oh,
spots.
yeah.
Let me
Agreed.
ask a question, and this is something I remember, I feel like, from preseason. Michael, you might probably be able to speak to this pretty well, but this is still like a junior heavy team. This is still
It
kind
is.
of a young team, right?
Yeah, I mean, Jonte's a senior, and they've got some other guys that they'll be losing. But you're right. I mean, Kobe in this particular class that David Jr. has kind of watched grow up, so to speak. They're going to
Mm.
bring a lot of firepower back. They're not a particularly like big team. And Bryce, you actually saw them in person. Like, I don't know if their size, like West was probably a bigger team than them when you saw them against West.
Uh,
But
I mean, they've got some big guys,
yeah,
but
but I think they're more so known for their speed, is what I'm saying, and just athleticism.
they do
Well,
have speed.
my point
Yeah.
about the classification thing is when you get to game 13 with a
Mm.
lot of juniors, those juniors are seasoned veteran players at that point.
True.
Like, you talk about a freshman growing up through the course of a season and
Right.
he's not a freshman anymore. Well, we've all seen enough really good football players and the kind of savvy that kind of a kid adds through the course of his career. And I think there's a chance Whitney might be able to kind of convert that into some improve just enough improvement on defense to be able to keep playing.
Yeah,
Nice.
I
Cool.
agree.
Well, we'll see. Um, so I feel like the playoffs have been La La Land in Class 4A Division Two. We've already had la-vega versus La-Grange, and now we get la-vega versus Lamarck. So the Lamarck Cougars got past the China Spring Cougars last week, 27-21 in the area round. We've talked a lot about just how impressed with this la-vega team that we've all been. But is there anything the Pirates need to worry about in this Lamarck game?
I think a little bit, particularly kind of jump starting that offense a little bit quicker. So last week it took them almost the entire game to kind of pull away um, from Silsby in that area round matchup. It was, I think, a 10-7 or maybe a 7-7 game, like going into the fourth. It was really, really tightly contested. And then la-vega just kind of erupts toward the end. They break off a couple big runs and passing plays and such to kind of put that one away. But man, this is going to be a much tougher test for Don Hyde and this crew. Lamarck has some serious speed. By the way, they're really good in basketball too, and that's even without some of their football guys. So they've got some pretty unreal athletes on that team, and I think la-vega is going to need to maybe get off to a little bit of a quicker start. Now, I say all that to say though, I mean, the good thing for la-vega, especially in that last one, was even when their offense might not be, at its peak early, maybe in the first half or even early in the third, their defense came away with 2 interceptions and 4 fumble recoveries. And I think Don Hyde told me on the phone earlier that on the like opening kickoff, Silsby had fumbled it and they were able to like score right away off that. So even though they didn't like put up 21 points right after that or something, they were able to kind of use that as momentum, so to speak. And so yeah, I guess all of that to say, like even if their offense can't really get going, I've talked about their defense all year. Those guys fly around, and that can at least maybe when all else fails, like that can kind of keep them in a game or give them a chance.
So, when you think about what la-vega has done over the course of time in football, and you compare it to like what they've done in girls basketball, how they'll graduate some key players and just keep right on being dominant, and that you lose guys that you think would be impossible to replace, like Ethan Thompson, and obviously Bryson Rowland, who we talk a lot about, and yet the expectations don't change. And you saw that through Coach Hyde's reaction to some games late in the season, how he was very unsatisfied with the way they played, even in blowout wins, right?
Oh yeah.
And so what they're trying to reach is a certain level of play, and it doesn't matter who they're playing. They're trying to reach that level of play, and I think that's what gives them a really good chance to keep on playing. Because
Totally agree. Yeah.
The Johnnies and Joes and the X's and O's have changed a little bit, but it's the expectation that it stayed the same. Like I said, just like in girls basketball, right? Or I guess it's the Jills and Flows and X's and O's and in girls basketball. And
Jills and Flows. How many flows do you know?
That was just off the top. I just did that off the top of my head. That's just how I flow.
Oh yes.
Nice.
Okay,
Nice.
Okay, Eminem.
But here's my other thought on this game. China Spring did a bit of road clearing for them because they took out Belleville, which was state ranked, and then Lamarck beats them by a touchdown. Right now, if you're and this is just sports writer talk. This is just fan looking at it talking, right? Because I don't necessarily prescribe this as a method of breaking down a game. But here you got China Spring that loses by only a touchdown to Lamarck, right? And la-vega was well more than a touchdown better than China Spring in the regular season. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
right. It's the, what do we call it? The transitive theory.
By the transitive theory, China Spring really did some
right.
Solid,
but I do think we've all seen enough sports, enough football to know that that doesn't always play.
Correct.
So we'll see. I tend to like la-vega in this game, but and I think Michael's point about, or one of y'all mentioned about how Coach Hyde, hasn't really been satisfied. I think that sort of edge keeps la-vega,
it does,
focused and honed in on the task. And so I don't think they're going to overlook Lamarck.
No.
I think they'll go out and do what they do, and we'll be talking about them again next week. So, all right. So as I mentioned, it's obviously Turkey Week, and when it comes to Thanksgiving, only the most responsible person gets to carve the turkey. Like, we're not giving Chad Conine that knife, especially if the Red Raiders have just lost. He's liable to poke somebody with it. So you can't just trust anyone to that job. So with that little analogy in mind, give me a local player or a coach, I guess we could do a coach, who is the turkey carver for their team. Who can you trust?
Well, I'm just going to go ahead and jump in here because I saw Bremont and Mark play the first time, and I
Yeah.
guarantee you they put the ball in the hands of their turkey carver in that game in the second
Mm,
half, which is Tank Scott. They
that's a
said,
Yes.
good
"Here you
one.
go, Tank. Take us to a win."
There you
Thank the
go.
turkey carver. I like it. Yeah.
Mhm.
I like
Uh,
that one, yeah.
yeah, that's a good call. A dude that, I mean, as so many in 2A do, but makes a lot of plays on both sides of the ball too.
Yeah, certainly.
But there's some
Um,
other good ones out there. So here, I'll just, there you go. Serve it up for you guys.
I was thinking maybe Chris Lancaster at Mart. I just feel like he would have he would have the kind of tools in place to be really really good and sound at that. But I think I'm gonna actually go with Craig Horn. I think he's got some like old school tricks to him that might for some reason make it better than anyone else. So
Nice, nice.
I think I think Craig just yells at the turkey and it cuts itself.
and that would be pretty cool to see. So
It cuts itself.
Hey, turkey, what the heck are you doing?
Look here, you turkey. It's not going to surprise you that I'm going to dip down into the 6-man ranks. Uh, look, we've talked about it before, but one player can make a big difference in the 6-man game. Not that one player can't in the 11-man game, but obviously the math's a little better down in the 6-man game. Um, so I'll throw out a couple of names just off the top before I talk about one guy a little more. I think Aquila uh, is giving that turkey knife to TC Hennig, who's been their
he's
playmaker
a
all
dude.
year. I think Oglesby with Holden Goff is,
Holy smokes.
he's another kid. Both of those two we're going to be considering for 6-man super-centex 6-man player of the year. But I'm going to go with a kid that I know we haven't talked about on here, and this is me playing favorites, okay? But whatever. It's a holiday week. And his name is Joseph Vasut. He plays at Texas Wind. He has been among, if not leading, most weeks leading our area in tackles in 6-man football all season. I just looked it up. He's got 113 tackles in 12 games, and he's also got 9 PBUs and 6 interceptions, including at least one interception that I know that saved a game for them. It was in the end zone at the end of the game. But here's why I mentioned that. So I think 6-man football, a lot of times you just think scoring, 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 and obviously there's a lot of scoring. But Texas wins the last, let's say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games. 0 points, 18 points, 0 points, 0 points, 27 points, 38 points. That's not a lot of points that they're giving up,
No, it's not.
and that makes a difference. And I know this kid. I was talking. He goes to my church. That's why I'm saying I'm playing favorites. But I was talking to his coach when I mentioned I was at that turkey bowl that we do over at McLean Stadium. His coach was there, and he was just like, he's just such a humble guy. And I was like, yeah, definitely. I could see that. Joseph was one of my kids on my rec team when I was in Spain. He was one of my helpers, and just a good kid, and I think you want a humble kid and someone you could trust with that turkey knife. So
like, were y'all tease me about guys I know from Midway? This is like guys I went to Europe with for you.
well played. Well played.
Also, another thing, Mr. Heisman voter, would you say that Joseph Vasut is the Jacob Rodriguez of Texas 6-man players?
He's going to need a mustache. He's going to need a mustache. But he's a really good player, and one that Texas Wind is glad to have on their side. Which leads me to, which games are you going to? Chad and I will see one on Friday. Michael will see for I would say at least the 3rd straight week. He will see multiple games. So Michael, where are you headed?
So Friday, I'm headed to Bryan. Merrill Green Stadium, I believe, is the venue
Merrill Green
for.
Stadium. Yep, great
Yep.
place.
I've never covered a game there, so I'm looking forward to that.
Just literally down the street from the Brian Eagle. So there you
Oh,
go.
cool. Very cool. Anyway, so La-Vega Pirates against the Lamarck Cougars. That'll be Friday night. And then Saturday, I'll be seeing Texas Wind against Brian BVCHEA in San Marcos.
Yeah.
San Marcos,
Now,
Italy.
in your
Or
game
the
story, I want to see what all these letter designations stand for. The
I'll be sure
Brian,
to do that for
the
you. Yeah.
what do they play in the
Yeah.
TAIAOAIAO?
So I'll be sure to explain the first acronym and then that second one
EIEIO.
too.
It's the Texas Association of Independent Athletic Organizations.
Athletics. Yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
TAIA.
And that is the state championship game.
That
So
is right. Texas Wind playing for state title. So I'm glad we're covering that one. Chad on
Okay,
Friday.
so of all the Thanksgiving weekends where I've run around the whole state and packed a sack lunch and gone to Sweetwater and things like this is a unique holiday for me because my parents live between Granbury and Fort Worth on Highway 377, right? In a little town called Crescent, actually, is and the closest football stadium to their house, as far as I know, I'm pretty sure the closest football stadium to their house is the Wild Stadium at Godley High School. They call it the Wild.
yeah, the Wild.
It's a cool stadium. I've driven by it. I never covered a game there. I've
It's
driven by
fairly
it.
new, Chad. I think it's only like a year or two old.
Yeah. Well, it's also kind of on the road. If I go up I-35 and cut across at Crowley, I go right by it when I'm going to my parents' house. No, wait, that's not right. I'm thinking of something else. It's between my parents' house and Cleburne. That's what it is. When I've covered games in Cleburne up there, and it's a really cool looking stadium. It's about 10 minutes away from my parents' house. So I just spent Thanksgiving. We're going to Ridgely Country Club for lunch on Thursday, so I don't have to hear my sister squawk at my mom about when Thanksgiving lunch is going to be ready. Hope she doesn't watch this. And then chill out, watch football all day Thursday, watch football a lot of the day Friday, and then just hop on over to the Wild and cover that game. And maybe
Axtell versus
oh yeah, who's playing
De
it?
Leon?
That's something everybody wants to know about. The Axtell Longhorns and the De Leon Bearcats.
there you
That'll
go.
be a fun one. That'll be a fun one.
And
By the way, De Leon is one of those towns, like you look at it and if you pronounce it De Leon, you're not wrong. But if you're from that little patch of Texas, a lot of people call it De Leon.
right.
So it's kind of like it's kind of like Tig.
or
Yeah.
or Mahair.
My hair, yeah, Manor.
Minor.
Italy.
I will be coming back from San Antonio on Friday, where I will be spending Thanksgiving with Janet's family. But going from there to Mahair, covering the Bremont Mart rematch. So I'm looking
That's gonna be a
forward.
fun game.
Yeah, looking forward to that one. That'll be a lot of fun. So a lot to be thankful for. Make sure to eat your weight on Thursday,
Yeah.
I asked my parents Saturday night. We had dinner for my sister's birthday, and I said, "Look, I know we're going to the club for Thanksgiving, but I still need y'all to get those particular pies that you get from that place in Fort Worth every year, because I got to eat between Wednesday night and Friday night too.
Gotta have the pie, that's for sure. But before we go, like, what's your go-to Thanksgiving either
like side or something?
side or dessert?
Whew. You want to go
Well,
first,
like I
Chad?
said, and since I already brought it up, this pie, there's this little pie shop on Camp Bowie in Fort Worth, or right in that kind of area where Ridgely Country Club is. It's anyway right by where we're going anyway. But they make I don't know if it's chocolate silk pie or just chocolate pie, and it's got like an Oreo crust. I'm just a sucker, because when I was growing up, we'd go to Lubbock, right? And we'd get to Lubbock, and my grandmother, my mom's mom, would have always made me a chocolate pie, right? And then both my grandparents lived in Lubbock, and my dad's mom would have made what we call 4-layer dessert. And I guarantee you, within 15 minutes when I get to heaven, I'm having some 4-layer dessert.
Nice.
Nice.
4-layer dessert. That sounds good.
Mhm.
I've had 6-layer bars. I don't know that I've had
Mm.
4-layer dessert.
Yeah.
Michael, what's your favorite?
There's like 4 or 5 different answers I could give here, but I love my mom's stuffing. I think it's so yummy. And then something we don't always have on Thanksgiving, but I love mac and cheese so much. And I think when it's particularly made well on Thanksgiving, I think it just like it's the perfect side dish.
My wife makes the best macaroni and cheese on the planet. I've often said that her
Save me some.
secret ingredient is heroin. That's what I say because it's just so addictive. But my number one draft pick in this draft will always be pumpkin pie because it is my favorite food on the face of the earth.
I didn't know that, and it's driven home by the fact that you had pumpkin pancakes on set.
Yeah, I did, but nothing tops pumpkin pie. My standard line is that you can eat it with whipped cream, without whipped cream. You could eat it with a big turd on top of it. It's still good. So, with that, we'll see you later. Peace out.
Ruined Thanksgiving.